In this video, we're gonna fully break down a complete guide for Tsukishiro Yanagi. She's finally coming to Zenless Zone Zero in 1.3, and she is insane. Our shocking new waifu is without a doubt the most fun character I've played in all of Zenless so far. Today, let's simplify her slightly complex kit, combos, team synergies, her best builds, and more. Sit back, grab yourself some Tin Master Special, and let's do this thing. As a reminder, all of the content in this video is from the creator beta server of Zenless Zone Zero. Because this is solely based on the test version, this may in fact change for her final online results and values, although probably pretty minor. Thank you very much to Hoyoverse for granting early access, and with that being said, let's check out what makes Yanagi so stinking cool! Tsukishiro Yanagi is our upcoming S-Rank Electric Anomaly unit from Section 6. As far as characters go, she is definitely the most complex for any unit we have. Her kit breaks down to a couple of very important concepts though. First is the idea of stance switches. There are two stances, Jyogen and Kagen. You can indicate which mode she is in a couple of different ways. There's these tiny little specks under her character picture here that will tell you, but here's a much better tip. Notice her hair clip glows either blue or orange depending on what mode she's in. Jyogen is blue, Kagen is orange. More on what these states mean when we talk about the basic attack in more detail. The second important concept of Electric Avenue's kit is Polarity Disorder. What this new form of disorder means is that Yanagi has a special damage trigger when an enemy is under an anomaly. Using EX Special or Ultimate will cause this Polarity Disorder to strike, dealing massive damage. As an added bonus, your current anomaly buildup will not decrease after this disorder occurs. Now let's dive into her actual kit and break it down so you can use her optimally. Her basic attack Tsukuyomi Kagura will be the most used move and has a lot going for it. There are a total of 5 strikes in this move. The first 2 deal physical and the last 3 deal electric damage. The most important thing about basic attacks will be the 3rd hit through the 5th hit. Note also that the Jyogen and Kagen states will have different basic attacks and animations depending on which mode you're in. As for the stances, Jyogen state will increase electric damage by 10% and has higher anti-interrupt level. Think of this mode as the quick frontal strikes, whereas Kagen has a lot more aerial slash motions. Damage-wise, you'll be doing more in the Jyogen state than in Kagen. As for the Kagen orange state, her pen ratio will increase here by 10%, and her interrupt level will increase instead. Something that may not be well known with the Kagen state is there's a lot of iframes during the last 3 basic attacks. In other words, on basic attacks 3 through 5, Yanagi will be invulnerable to damage and strikes, and you can use this to get through punish windows. With this in mind, the main thing to remember is that Jyogen will be your primary state for damage and quick slashes, whereas Kagen's stance will be more centered around iframes and utilizing invulnerability windows around enemy attack patterns. Also worth noting is for 8 seconds after switching between these 2 stances, Yanagi will retain the buffs from each stance. And you'll notice in the gameplay of this video that I frequently use this stance switch to both parry enemy attacks and utilize this extra bonus from buffs. In combat, you will always default to being in Jyogen state initially. Simply using special attack will switch stances. It will also be important to know the fluid, fun combos that Yanagi specializes in. You'll see shortly that a lot of her moveset goes right back into her basic attacks in certain loops. This will constantly strike with a ton of electric damage and anomaly. For now though, let's hop into those specials. Without energy, her special is called Ruten. Here's where her kit gets a little bit more intense. Here's why your basic attacks 3 to 5 are so important. If you use special attack after basic attack 3, 4, or 5, you will activate Swift Ruten. This is insanely powerful as it is a full parry that will block all incoming damage. In fact, that's where a lot of the high skill ceiling Yanagi has will be coming from. In addition, your special attack is a very important part of keeping that highly fluid combo going. After using Swift Ruten, you can immediately go right back into the 3rd basic attack of whatever stance you're in. For now, just remember to use special attack after 3, 4, or 5 to keep your combos alive and maintain that higher electric anomaly uptime. Oh, what's that? You want some big damage? Alright, then it's time for the EX special attack, Gekka Ruten. Once you have enough energy, hold down the button to activate the move. There's a few important things to remember here as well. First, after using EX special attack, Yanagi will enter the Shinrabanshou state for 15 seconds. This just simply acts as a free combo starter, because whenever you use basic attack, you'll immediately start from basic attack 3 instead of the physical strikes. In other words, no matter what skill you use in Yanagi's kit, if you're in the Shinrabanshou state, using basic attack will directly follow up the combo right back into basic attack 3. It's a really fun and cool combo loop that you're going to be using quite frequently. But remember that thing called Polarity Disorder? Here's one of the ways you're going to activate it. If the enemy you are fighting is suffering from any anomaly, the last strike of EX Special will trigger the special Polarity Disorder effect. This deals 15% of the original disorder damage plus a whopping 3,200% of Yanagi's anomaly proficiency. Yeah, you heard that percentage right. I don't know what they're thinking. That's insane. Anyway, as stated before, you will not decrease or remove the target's attribute anomaly when triggering this polarity disorder. Let's simplify this a bit and bring up an example from Honkai Star Rail actually. In some ways, this kind of extra disorder effect reminds me of Kafka from HSR, where you can additionally trigger the debuffs without removing them. Same goes for Yanagi here, and utilizing the EX special properly will be the best way to optimize her gameplay. To summarize it, just remember to utilize this EX special attack when an enemy is under an anomaly to get the polarity disorder, and then immediately follow it right back into basic attack 3 to keep your combo alive. Whew, that was a lot. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below if you need further clarification on these important parts. Luckily from here, it's actually pretty simple, so let's jump into her dodges. Shocking Waifu's dodges are the most simple part. Dash attack Fleeting Flight deals physical damage, and you should never be using it. Dodge counter Rapid Retaliation, on the other hand, will be used quite frequently and deals electric damage. The key thing here is that this is one of the moves you can immediately follow up with right back into basic attack 3 to keep the combo alive. Note that you can also do the follow-up into third basic attack out of chain attack as well, so it's very worthwhile to have Yanagi be last in your chain sequences. Quick assist and assist follow-up can also go into third basic attack. When your decibel rating is at 3000 aka max, you know what time it is. Shock Mama will use her ultimate and unleash her potential. This attack has a very good AoE radius followed by a huge lightning strike, but remember here as well that this move will also trigger that amazing polarity disorder. With that in mind, her ultimate has extremely good value in battle, and I for one have pretty much used it every time I could. As usual with her insanely fluid kit, you can combo out of this move straight into third basic attack. Just to summarize, here are the moves that will combo back into basic attack 3. Swift through 10, quick assist, assist follow-up, dodge counter, EX special, chain attack, and ultimate. And the others are moves that you wouldn't even use in the first place. Here is the best upgrade order for all of her skills. Let's break down the last part of her kit, core passives. Lunar Eclipse states that the damage multiplier of Disorder is increased by 250% when any other squad member causes it. This will last 15 seconds. Additionally, Yanagi's electric damage is increased by 20% for this same 15 seconds when the EX hits an enemy. Basically, Disorder goes boom and Yanagi gets a big damage boost. Additional ability Gate Soul will activate when there is another anomaly or electric unit in the squad. After you switch stances, using Yanagi's basic attack string will increase electric anomaly buildup by 45% for 8 seconds. This does in fact couple with what we discussed earlier on the stances, aka retaining those good buffs. Okay, it's now time for the team synergy section. Let me tell you one thing right away. Yanagi has a lot of strong teams. I am beyond shocked that she can have this many as an anomaly unit, and she can actually fit into pretty much any account this way. While she has a lot of strong, amazing partners, her favorite character to pair with is Bernice. As we know, fiery biker waifu wants to be off-field and constantly ticking that burn and damage and buildup. This plays right into Shocking Mommy's hands. Her best team is what I call the Moneybags team, or you can call it the premium units. Bernice, Yanagi, and Caesar in that order. In my testing, they cleared both Shiyu Defense 7 and Ambush Node 5 in the shortest time. Also, it's fair to state that I actually stink at this game, so someone who is even better than me could easily get better times. Anyway, I know what you might be thinking about now. How about the other on-field anomaly units, Jane, Piper, and Grace? Sadly, while these teams are still very strong, Yanagi doesn't have the best of synergy with them, since they also want to be in the spotlight. However, the Yanagi and Jane team doesn't really care, and they absolutely just bullied the crap out of the endgame content anyway. I actually didn't mind Piper that much since I was just using her to get the assault on the enemy though. That's the team I use for the free-to-play team, Yanagi, Piper, and Lucy. It's also worth noting that Burn synergized a lot better with Yanagi than Assault did, but it can still get the job done perfectly fine. I hate that I have to say this though. My respect for Grace continues to diminish with each patch. I am very much that Andy meme of, I don't want to play with you anymore. As you can see in the hashtag Buff Grace team, this was my least favorite squad to use. I really wanted them to work, but it just paled in comparison to the free-to-play Mono Electric Rena, Sons of Caledons, etc. Another great partner for her though is Rena, especially if you want to focus Mono Electric. That extra shock duration from Rena's kit as well as the free penetration will in turn be very nice for Yanagi. Same goes for Seth, except he'll be contributing a good amount of Electric Anomaly, strong shields, and that juicy Anomaly proficiency boost. In general, use Yanagi on a dual Anomaly focused or a mono electric team, and you'll absolutely be shredding the content. Bernice, Caesar, Lucy, Seth, Rena are all cherries on top if you have them. Now that we know the ins and outs of her amazing kit and team synergies, we can finally go about building her the best way possible. We need to talk about W engines first though, because there is a strong disparity here. Her best in slot W engine is an absolute monster called Time Weaver. In short terms, it's a free 30% electric anomaly buildup. When you hit specials against an enemy afflicted with any anomaly, Yanagi's anomaly proficiency will increase by 75 for 15 seconds. When you hit 375 anomaly proficiency or higher, disorder damage increases by 25 more percent. Remember that her best stat is anomaly proficiency and that her moves directly scale with it. With Seth being one of her best partners too, you can easily meet this threshold with his shields, even without good substats. This W engine is an absolute beast for Yanagi, but sadly only really matters on her or Grace. And here's the bad news. Past this W engine, there is an extreme fall off for what to use on her. Her next best would technically be Fusion Compiler, which is Grace's signature. However, even at S5, it still didn't compare to Time Weaver at S1. The usual suspects don't have much value for her either, Rainforest Gourmet or Electro Lip Gloss. If you don't have an S rank though, I guess your best bet will be to either use Roaring Ride S5 or Weeping Gemini S5. Even then though, you're really gonna want to get her signature. Luckily, there's a bit more variability in disk drives for Yanagi. In fact, there's a few good options that depend on how you want to play and use her. Her general best in slot set will be 4-piece Chaos Jazz with 2-piece Freedom Blues. The set technically doesn't have the highest damage in my testing, but it's easier to manage the uptime. The highest damage set in my trials was actually 4-piece Thunder Metal with 2-piece Freedom Blues, but only with 100% uptime on the shock. It can be done for a really good player and if you time your disorders and shocks well, but realistically you'll be around 50% uptime. Even at 50, it's still plenty strong however, and can directly compete with that Chaos Jazz Freedom Blues set we talked about. If you are better than me at this game and can manage the higher uptime, you should definitely be using that 4-piece Thunder Metal though. Alternatively, you can use 4-piece Chaos Jazz and 2-piece Thunder Metal if you have good substats. Still a completely awesome viable option. As for main stats, slot 4 should only be Anomaly Proficiency, slot 5 should optimally be Electric Damage, but attack percent with good substats can be used. Slot 6 should be Anomaly Mastery, however, I actually don't mind having Energy Regen instead if you have the substats to back it. Using that EX special is a big source of damage after all. Her stat priority is Anomaly Proficiency, followed by attack percent, then Flat Pen is equal to Flat Attack. As for the Bangboos, it mainly comes down to matching your anomaly to the team. In that Mono Electric team with Rena, use Plug Boo. If you have 2 Sons of Caledon, use Red Marcus, etc, etc. You get the picture. Optimally, the best way to utilize Bangboos is to add as much anomaly to the equation as possible. If you're a true gamer of sorts and are actually really based, then you'll want to get the best Yanagi possible, and you can do that with Mindscapes. Mindscape 1 is basically just an increase to anomaly proficiency by 80 for free. Mindscape 2 is a lot more electric anomaly buildup as well as a big multiplier increase to the disorder effect. Number 4 says that when Yanagi does anomaly damage on an enemy, and attacks on that opponent will have 16% increased pen ratio. Mindscapes 6 increases EX special attack damage, doubles the duration of Shinrabanshou state, increases the amount of times Polarity Disorder can trigger, and reduces the energy cost for all of the additional thrust attacks. In review, Yanagi is an insanely fun character that I have loved playing with. Her complex kit, high skill ceiling, and fun fluid combos have made her a must-pull for me. And yeah, my polychromes are still in shambles, so I have no idea how I'm gonna do that. Make sure to learn how to keep that combo alive with her Swift through 10 and her different ways to follow up into Basic Attack 3. Build her with Anomaly Proficiency and Attack percent in mind, and you will have an amazing Yanagi. And there you have it, a full, complete Tsukishiro Yanagi guide. Let me know what you think about her in the comments below, and if you're going to be spending every tiny little crumb on her like I will be. Anyway, like the video if it helped in any way, and let me know how to improve this guide for lighter coming up very soon. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that and plenty other awesome Zenless content. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.